Hey there, this is Hannah from High Point Discovered. This week, High Point Discovered is hosting our Week of Giving campaign, Giving Discovered. As a 501c3 nonprofit, everything we do at HPD is at no cost to the folks we feature or the community that accesses our content. But to pay our creative team who puts together these stories, we need support from community members like you. Consider giving today. Even just a $1 a month donation goes a long way to continue making our content accessible. Now, let's get into the story. Rolling into Wonder, HPU's Mobile Science Lab by Hannah Conran. Welcome to High Point Discovered. The wheels on the bus may go round and round, but on the High Point University Mobile Lab, there's a lot more happening than just moving from place to place. Wrapped in signature HPU purple and fully equipped for hands-on science, the bus is designed to bring discovery directly to the community. No lab coat or campus visit required. You might find the mobile lab parked at elementary schools, the High Point Public Library, the YWCA, the Nido and Mariana Qubein Children's Museum, or another community organization. And inside, you'll find HPU students who are passionate about their studies in biology, biochemistry, chemistry, neuroscience, or physics, ready to teach our High Point kids just what makes science so special. The goal isn't just to make science cool for these kiddos, although it certainly is cool. It's to make it theirs. It all started in 2016 when two biology faculty members and a chemistry faculty member at HPU proposed the idea through a Think Big grant, an internal university grant designed to further academic efforts. Since then, the mobile lab has been traveling through the greater High Point area, bringing hands-on science to students from kindergarten through 8th grade. According to Dr. Brianna Pfizer, Dean of the Wannick School of Natural Sciences, the idea was simply to make science accessible to the entire High Point community.
They had the idea of bringing science to the community through this bus.
The university jumped on the idea, donating the transportation for the mobile lab, upfitting it to be used for science studies inside. Today, the mobile lab is primarily operated by the Natural Sciences Fellows, a 4-year program within the Wannick School of Natural Sciences, where students who demonstrate exceptional promise in the sciences participate in undergraduate research and academic opportunities. Led by Dr. Kelly Sapp, Associate Professor of Biology and Co-Director of the Natural Sciences Fellows Program, the program also requires a service learning component across their time in undergrad.
So the students are required to do service each semester across their 4 years, and then they select 1 year as their service year.
That was Dr. Kelly Sapp, Associate Professor of Biology and Co-Director of the Natural Sciences Fellows Program.
And that year they work with me more intensively. They're doing a lot more science service outreach within that service year.
Part of the requirement is actually giving students the skills to be able to talk about sciences to a large variety of audiences, not just their peers in the STEM community.
For the science students, whether they realize it or not, one of our goals for them is to learn how to communicate and talk science to people that are not scientists.
Yeah.
They're going to get the science in-house in presentations that they're giving within the school or going off to research conferences. But it's very different if you're talking to a grandmother or a parent or a 6-year-old.
But the mobile lab isn't just staffed by Natural Sciences Fellows. All students at HPU are invited and encouraged to participate in the outreach programs the mobile lab offers.
We open these opportunities to all students, regardless of whatever they're affiliated with.
Explains Dr. Pfizer. When it comes to the modules that are taught on the mobile lab, they cover a wide range of topics, which allows teachers and after-school tutors to select courses that complement what's taking place in the classroom.
We can let where we're going know what those are, so they may request a specific one that may complement what they're doing in the classroom.
Dr. Sapp says. Exploding gummy bears, goo worms, and vomiting pumpkins are all some of the activities that get kids laughing and engaged with science learning. But in the midst of some silly science, kids are learning real science principles like the chemistry of food, bioluminescence, polymerization reactions, and more.
Lots of things that are fun, colorful, safe chemistry that they can touch.
That's Dr. Kelsey Keene, Assistant Professor of Chemistry at High Point University. The professors in the Wannick School also encourage their students to take the lead on crafting their own modules with Dr. Sapp, leveraging their own passions and current projects.
The students sort of drive potentially the direction that we go in a lot of cases.
Dr. Sapp tells one story of HPU students sharing their research posters on pollinators with children and how that connected with a pollination module. This opportunity to actually have a hand in developing curriculum is a huge boon for HPU students, but it also strengthens the students' ownership over the mobile lab.
Not only were the kids learning about pollination, they were talking to kids in college that were doing research projects on pollinators.
And the professors agree the relationships that the students build with the kids in the community are far more impactful than any one science module ever could be. For example, Dr. Keene leads the chemistry student club at HPU, and she often has students participating in the mobile lab. She notes that the lab often makes routine stops at certain places so her students get to interact with the same kids throughout the course of a year or even several years.
I recognize them, they recognize us because we see them over the course of a year, or they stay in the after school program. And so I think it's also impactful that they continue to build somewhat of a relationship with kids and think about science outside of whatever's going on in the classroom, hands-on, like fun capacity.
But there's another important component when it comes to early exposure to the sciences for our High Point children. It's being able to see themselves one day in the seat that their HPU mentors are sitting.
We have a pretty diverse student body within WANIC in terms of what our students represent, and so that's reflected in the students that are out there doing service and volunteering.
Dr. Sapp recalls one story in particular where a child was in the lab dissecting owl pellets. His mom arrived a little early to pick him up and started chatting with Dr. Sapp while they waited.
She said she was so excited because he saw students that looked like him.
It's a small moment that points to something bigger. Representation matters. Being able to see yourself in the role you want to play is crucial for career progress, and each of these professors have seen that truly play out in their own lives. For Dr. Sapp, it started with a plan to go to veterinarian school that led to exposure in biology that slowly evolved into a love of research. A teaching assistantship opened her eyes to her own passion and talent for teaching, which set her on the trajectory to lead other students through their own academic journeys. Dr. Keene grew up in a family of scientists, professors, and teachers, and credits a summer research experience as an undergraduate with opening her eyes to what science could look and feel like.
I've really cared along the way and have cared more as time has gone on about like students persisting in STEM and feeling like they belong in STEM.
She notes that she sometimes wonders if she hadn't had the privilege to grow up in an academic family who had a love of sciences, would she be where she is today? And in that question, she's found purpose in helping more kids to discover their potential at an early age.
So that is, a big piece of why I'm also involved in the outreach is thinking about how do we get those kids who are now like K through 8 to show up in a college classroom.
For Dr. Pfizer, it was physics. The challenge of it and the hands-on nature of it that first sparked something.
I had a high school teacher who was very hands-on. We built things in that class, like hovercrafts and race cars that were driven by mouse traps, and it was just really fun to learn.
She went on to become a biophysicist, and what keeps her showing up is watching students realize what they're capable of.
I see a lot of students especially scared of physics. My career has always been about making it more relatable. I can help them get over that fear. You have to address the fear before learning can happen, right? And so exposing kids to things that they might be afraid of, that you can find ways to excite them about. I think that's what drew me to the mobile lab and just outreach in general.
If one bottle rocket inspires a future aerospace engineer, or one goo worm motivates a future chemist not to give up, to the faculty at the WANIC School, it's worth it.
I had a lot of times when I thought I couldn't do it. So helping somebody realize that they can is important to me.
Dr. Pfizer concludes.
Our students are genuinely excited about science, and so I think they also enjoy going out and sharing that enthusiasm with kids.
Dr. Keene says.
And I think a lot of them, like similar to my experience, have been the kid on the other side of the table. And so now they get to be the scientist who's deploying this cool, fun thing.
Because ultimately, the HPU Mobile Lab is about more than sciences. It's about High Point. It's about a university that believes its responsibility extends beyond its own campus and demonstrates that through students who are willing to load a bus, drive across town, and show up for kids who are just beginning to figure out who they might become. Every exploding gummy bear, every owl pellet, every aha moment in the back of that purple bus is an investment in the community we all share. And if one of those moments is what keeps a High Point kid curious, confident, and dreaming bigger, well, that's a hypothesis that the Wannock School is happy to prove. If you want to see the mobile lab in full joyful action, here's your chance. The team's most anticipated event of the year, SciQuest, takes place tomorrow on June 26th from 1:30 to 5 p.m. at the Nido and Mariana Qubein Children's Museum. Every science group from HPU comes together for an afternoon of demos, modules, and hands-on exploration, including a mobile planetarium. Admission to SciQuest is included in the purchase of a museum ticket for June 26th. Thanks for listening to this story, Rolling into Wonder, HPU's Mobile Science Lab. You can discover more stories like this at highpointdiscovered.org. Each High Point Discovered story is made possible and accessible through our community like you. We'd love for you to partner with us in this work by donating to High Point Discovered at highpointdiscovered.org/give. We hope you'll tune in next week when we discover more about our city. And until then, keep discovering our high points.